Welcome, welcome everybody. You have made it to build day 42 or number 42, depends on how you're running these in sequence or not. We are going to be focusing on building our back today. So it's been a little while since we've done a focused back build and it feels like high time. It's always super important to keep your back engaged and working to help release things through the neck and the shoulders and to keep the shoulders healthy and moving from there. So we are actually going to start on our heels, sitting on the ground on your knees. Tuck your toes under so you can get a little stretch through the backs of your feet. Now, depending on how long, if you're wearing shoes or not, and how tight your feet are, you might not be able to sit that way for long. So just come up off your feet if you need to give yourself a little bit of a break. All right, bring your arms up overhead. Inhale. And then you're going to pull one arm up and over and then the other. All right, so today our equipment, we have a resistance tubing on an anchor point. I'm going to be staying on, well, some of it I'll be staying on my knees or in a lunge position so that it's at about chest height, shoulder height. Or if you have an anchor point that is higher and you can stand, then you can also use that. I have a set of 15s, a set of 5s, and a 44-pound kettlebell. Go ahead and hit up your hands and knees, and I'm going to have you just do a transverse abdominis draw, so pulling everything in through the rib cage and the pelvic floor muscles. So envision that you're trying to just suck everything up nice and tight, hold firm, engaging through that core. Keep everything held and then take your right hand and put it behind your head. And we're going to inhale, twisting from the mid-back, and then exhale, lower the elbow down to the wrist. We're also going to be starting today off with a nice little chunk of core that we are repeating throughout this week of workouts. Just keeping our same little cycle of core going. All right, and then drop. Switch to the other side. Inhale. Twist that arm up, exhale, lower. Get movement in depending on the time of day you're hitting this up. Need a little bit more time to get everything loosened and moving and fluid. One more, keep those transverse abdominis drawn in, and then elbow drops. Okay, extend your arms forward. We're going to go into a downward facing dog. Slide those heels down and then pedal out your feet. So let one knee drop and then the other. Pedal back and forth, slide those shoulder blades down, hollow out your armpits, and keep the belly strong. So the same contraction that we just had with our transverse draw on our hands and knees, we want to keep that now in our down dog. All right, push both heels to the ground, slide those hips up, push your chest back, and then drop onto your knees and flip over onto your back. All right, so we're going to start off with this core set with a dead bug. All right, push your low back into the ground. Bring your legs up into a tabletop position. Arms are directly over your shoulders. So already here, you need to be feeling your core contract. Just like when we did on the ground with our hands and knees. Set into the low back, grip across the front of the belly. Extend your opposite arm and leg. Contract deep into that core and pull back. Extend. Pull, extend, pull. This is such a foundational core exercise. So basically you're drawing in, holding flex just like you would in a plank position, but you're adding movement. So a lot of times, even still, some of my clients I've had for years, they just fly through this. You'll still feel it, but you're missing a lot if you don't get that low back contracted, push toward the ground, pulling the rib cage around and finding your pelvic floor muscles. I know it's crazy. Those pelvic floor muscles are not really anything any of us want to work on, but if we can get them, we can keep our low back way happier. You have better control of your bladder and you have better core tone. I promise. Keep it up. Extend, contract, pull back. 9, one more each side, and 10. All right, flip it over for me. We're going to do a salamander. So a salamander is a core set, starts on your forearms and a regular plank. If you need to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, pull your right knee up towards your right elbow. If that's your point and you need to stop, stop there. Or if you can roll onto your left quad, push back up. That's what we're going to go for. So tuck and roll. 1, we're going to go 10 each side. It's kind of like a TikTok plank, but even more difficult. We're building layer by layer, making things just a little bit more difficult as time moves on. But if something's not ready for it, if your shoulders aren't ready, if this is just a crazy, gnarly pain, and ask for your shoulders, back off 1 layer. If it's too much on your back, back off 1 layer. You find the position and the range that works for you. Here's 8. 9, 10, and 10. Whew, all right, come into a high plank, and we're going to do a super plank, meaning we're going to pull opposite hand and toe toward one another. So the key here is to make sure that you keep shoulders nice and high over your wrists. Then you're going to take your hand and toe and draw it toward one another. Again, you find the layer that works for you. Maybe you keep both hands on the ground and just move your legs. Maybe you keep both legs on the ground and just move your hands. You find your point that your core can stabilize and hold. Pull the elbows to tuck back towards your thighs. 8, 9, 10. Whew, all right, now we're going to switch into our side plank, hip dip. Set up a nice solid side plank, and then drop and lift your hips. 5, 7, drive those hips up to the top, and 10. Rotate over. Lift up nice and high. Focus on the push coming through that oblique. 7, 9, 10. All right, push yourself up and back. All right, perfect. Got our core set done. So we're going to start off with this band. Also, we're going to be incorporating your heavy kettlebell or dumbbell. So be ready with that for a rhomboid row. So we're going to be on a timer, so I'm going to show you what's coming. We are going to be starting off with a very focused single arm rotation. So we're going to retract shoulder blades and then row. 1 arm at a time, but alternating, or 1 arm at a time. So you're going to pull your left shoulder up, back, retract, then row. Then you're going to bring it back and re-roll forward. Retract, pull, forward, back. So it's really trying to build the connection to what it feels like to get that shoulder head retracted back and the back engaged. Then we'll do the other side. Okay, and then we're going to go into both arms rowing. So we're going to keep the shoulder blades retracted and just row your thumbs right back to your armpits. Then we'll stand. We're going to do a big straight arm pull. Pull, and then let your arms release slow. Pull and release slow. After those, we're going to come to our heavy weight, heavy bell, and we're going to do a rhomboid row. So the rhomboids are the muscles that sit right between your shoulder blades and pull the shoulder blades back. They're your posture muscles. They sit underneath your traps. Okay, we all are familiar with our traps, so it gets tight when we get stressed or when we're in crazy traffic or if we lift too much weight without using the back. So I really want you to really focus on your rhomboids. Okay, so you're going to take both hands around your bell. If you don't have a kettlebell and you use the dumbbell, same thing. Just wrap your hands around the handle. All right. Get your back as flat as possible. So we want to try to get our hips low and our back flat. And then I want you to pull the elbows and squeeze. Lock into that core. We'll drop, pull, squeeze. So your range is pulling that bell as far as you can towards your sternum. And then I want you to kind of hold the top. All right. Get that squeeze, that isometric contraction, and then you can let it go from there. We're going to go 3 rounds, 30 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transition. It's really just giving us time to transition. We don't need much of a break. And we'll go 3 rounds through. Okay, ready, set, and go. So we'll start with that left arm. Retract, row, forward, release. Little itty bitty movements. Sometimes we get too worried and focused on big movements, and we forget just small little retractions, and getting things set up are super important. So no neck muscles going on here. Rotate, pull. All right, switch to the other side. We're going to do that right arm. Arm straight forward. Keep that left shoulder back. Now just rotate the right. Forward. Retract, row. What happens after you get your shoulder back and then you row? Are you losing your retraction? So maybe you don't even worry about the row today. Maybe you're just retracting. Our shoulders like to stay forward, and we're trying to train them that we want them to stay back. All right, stay here. Roll those shoulders back and down. Make sure the core is strong and the pelvis is tucked. Grab deep into the belly. Pull both thumbs to the armpits at the same time. Focus that back. As you squeeze your elbows back, what happens with your shoulders? So you're pulling, pinching, holding a second, then release. Right? So try to get away from this. Squeeze. You are in control of your muscle contractions. Time. You should be getting really good at finding flexion where you want it, releasing where you don't want it. Takes a little bit of focus. Straight arms, pull, and then release those. So now we're getting a little lower into the lats. Your back should be heating up. Lock into the belly. All that stuff that we woke up in the core, working there as well. Focus your back, focus your back. Create space between your shoulders and ears. All right, set those down. Get your bell ready. 3, 2, and pull. Squeeze, and then drop. Squeeze. Even when you're dropping your bell back to the ground, you want to keep that heat in the back. You all know me, I love working the back. Keep that going. Feel all those muscles contract. Hold flexion. Time. All right, we're back to our strap. One leg on the ground. You're going to retract and then row. Re-roll. So we have these points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Creating awareness for that shoulder joint. How much control do you have over it? Later today, switch your sides. When you're driving or typing or cooking, whatever else, roll that right shoulder. See if you can find awareness again of that shoulder head and retraction of the shoulder blade. Our bodies were built to survive, right? So we find the lazy way to kind of get where we're going. So when we're driving, we're going to pull both arms. How many of us sit there, kind of hunker over the wheel? So retract, grab the core, both arms, pull back. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that heat build all through the back, not in the neck though. So keep that chest lifted, shoulders back, lock the core. You got it. Flex and pull. Time. All right, we're going to come up, straight arms, hinge those hips back, shoulders back and down. Already roll those shoulders back, straight arms. Here we go. Check in, really take your brain to what's going on with those shoulders as the arms come back forward. Check your core. So keep wrapping your stomach in all the way around. Rib cage, low back, front of the belly. Time. All right, back to that bell. Straddle your bell, sit low, and pull. Drop slow, and pull. If you're heavy enough on your weight here, you're going to feel those legs fire up too. That's good. Focus the back. Keep that low core strong. One more. All right. We have one last set. Bring it down. I'm going to start with my right arm retracting this time. Roll back. Pull. Drop forward. Return. I know it doesn't feel like burpees or tuck jumps, but we need these so badly to stay healthy. Keep that back functioning and working. And time. Other side. Stay mindful of where your pelvis is, right? Tuck those hips a bit. Neutral pelvis. Pull. Return. Make sure your body's not twisting. You're getting that initial set from that shoulder tuck back. Retract. Pull. And forward. All right, pull both arms. Wait for the timer if you'd like. Otherwise, just go for it. So now we keep those shoulder heads retracted back. If you want to check from here, roll back, set in, and make sure that they don't release. Flex into those thighs, find that strong foundation. Lift your head up away from those shoulders. Feel that back light up. Time. All right, hinge forward. Hips go back. Slide that core strong. Shoulder blades slide down. Pull straight arms and release. Here we go. 30 seconds. Feel that core contract. Your low back is going to want to sink like we hit in our cow pose. See if you can still hold flexed around that core and not let your tailbone wink up. Come on, keep it in your back. Time. All right. You're going to get those rhomboid rows, those iso grabs, isometrics. Ready? Pull. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And drop. Here too, it's easy to let those hips come up too far, so really hold flexion. Keep your hips lined with where your shoulders are. Okay, this one, it's getting heavy. Hold. Lock core, feel the back. Isometric grab. Time. All right. Get that guy out of the way. Gearing up for our second block. You're going to need your band and you're going to need your other sets of dumbbells. Okay, so we have a couple different ISO contractions, and then we'll be using the weights. So you're going to start on your back with your feet on the ground. I want your low back on the ground and your hands facing the ceiling. You're pressing your elbows into the ground. So the little press, relax, okay? So I want you again focusing those shoulder heads retracting, pulling back, shoulder blades retracting down, and you're gonna your elbows are just driving into the ground, almost like you're getting ready to do a backwards push-up. Okay, then you're gonna grab your band and wrap your hands around it. If you don't have a band, just lift your arms up off the ground and pull in and out. Toes push into the floor, arms are up overhead. Pull that band wide, elbows draw back. Push and pull. Push and pull. All right, after that, we are going to come into our light dumbbells and we're going to do a two-way fly. Okay, so palms facing forward, bring your arms high and wide, and then we're going to create a Y shape. So T and Y, okay? Then we're going to do back flies with those heavier bells. Elbows come up, pinch together. We're going to take a little second at the top, hold, and then back to the ground. And then to gear us up for our next set, we're just doing a plange push. You can do these from your knees if you'd like. Create a high plank, shoulder blades pull together, and then you're doming and rounding out. So this is, again, building flexibility and awareness in the upper back in those wings. Okay, ready, set, and go. Back on the ground. Push your elbows into the ground. Push, push, push. Relax. Push, 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 push. Really drive those elbows in. So your arms are not moving at all. You should feel that low back. Stay contacted to the ground or at least close. Elbows push. You should feel that upper back big contraction. Time. Flip over. Get that strap ready. Push your toes into the ground. Tuck your chin and then pull. Elbows come in bent and then push out. So then when your elbows are back, make sure that you're gripping in through those back muscles, right? Trying to still keep flexion in the back, relaxed through the neck. Push and pull. Lock into the core, flex your glutes, keep that lift. Time. All right, coming up, we're gonna grab the baby weights, do that two-way fly, hinge forward, thumbs come up, wide, and then forward. Focus your back. So if you're not feeling the back, maybe even take your weights away. If it comes into the neck, you need to go down in weight and just focus on self-flexion first. Then get the work going. Come on. Time. All right. I'm going to round forward just a sec. Here we go. Grab those 15s or whatever you have. Hinge forward again. Keep that core locked. Elbows up. Squeeze together. Release slow. We're focused on that pencil pinch between shoulder blades. So feel those wings push together. Squeeze. Feel the back pulling those arms up. If hinging forward a lot starts to be too much on your low back, okay, there's time. We're going to go to that plange push. Then you can sit on a box or a chair. Okay, big hands. Find your plank. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Round out. Squeeze together. Round out. It's funky, but it's such good work for getting movement in to that upper back, your wings. Squeeze together. Round. All right. Back onto our backs. So 1 set done. 2 to go. Push your low back toward the ground. Elbows push into the ground. Push. So kind of relax every once in a while. Just a small little relax to re-engage. About every 5 seconds. Release. Press. 5, 4, 3, 2. Release. Press. The more that you can build your self-flexions without holding weight or moving. Time. Getting those isometric flexions, better off you're going to be when you do move with weight and resistance. All right, grab your band. Here we go. Push those toes into the ground. Hold those elbows back. Push forward. Make sure it's not in your neck at all. Tuck your chin. You don't want to be yanking your neck up. Take your brain to back. Keeping core still strong. Time. All right. We're going to get our fly. Hinge forward, belly locks. Pinkies are toward one another. Control your drop. Control your drop. Remember that retraction that we built with our shoulders up top with the band? Keep that going here. Shoulder heads roll back. Shoulder blades retract. Time. All right. Round out. Okay, we're going to get those flies or, back flies. Here we go. Instead of our straight arm fly, we're going to bent fly. Try to keep your upper back still, all of the body still except for those arms. You're not bobbing your head or chest. Pinch those shoulder blades together. Find those rhomboids we worked from the other direction with that kettlebell. All right, plange, push. Slide those shoulder blades together. Round. Envision what your shoulder blades would look like. If you had a camera pointed straight down from the top, you should be seeing a lot of movement, pinching the skin in those wings. Those wings should be pretty mobile. All right, last set, friends. Here we go. Push that low back into the ground. Push elbows down. Release, press. release, press. Take a second here to feel what it feels like to have your pelvis in neutral to your shoulders. So if you're tucking it back and getting the low back in contact with the ground, this is going to be pretty close to neutral, if not in neutral. All right, flip over. So that's what we want to build awareness of as well when we're in our forward hinge positions. Pull those elbows back. Push. Build that back muscle. Come on, come on. Time. Whew. All right. We're going to do our two-way straight arm fly, T to Y. Getting a couple different ranges and parts of the shoulder, right? That rear delt. Find your core. Find that hip placement. Remember, you can always go body weight, get range of motion. Build the awareness of those back muscles. Here we go. Bent arm flies. Lock the core. Elbows up, pinch. Just a hinge, so soft knees. But you're pushing your hips back so the chest can drop forward. Hold that core. It's a lot of pressure on the low back if you don't have that core flexed. Hang in. Time. Okay, we're going to do that plange push, and then we're there. Here we go. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Press out. Squeeze and press. You can feel a lot of pull and grab into those armpits on the push. Shoulder blades, armpit. Oh, combined with your pecs. Time. All right, push back into your downward facing dog. We're going to start here for our stretch. Good work. Perfect, perfect. Slide those hips up and back. Find flexion through your back. Relax into the neck and shoulders. Okay, and slowly roll forward. So scoop through the belly. Bring your shoulders up over those wrists and let your hips drop all the way down. Onto your knees, release your toes. Open your chest, elbows back, and then slowly lower all the way to the ground. Grab your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingertips. Open that chest. Take your left ear to the left shoulder. And then right ear to the right shoulder. Oh. All right, push back up into a child's pose. Hips back, arms forward, keep your elbows up off the ground. Whew. Come to your hands and knees. And we're gonna thread the needle. Plant into that left arm, grab the core. I want you to take your time to think here, process what's going on. Inhale, bring that right arm up. Try to keep your hips level. Oh, now tuck it under, sliding onto the outside of that right shoulder. Pull your body over that right shoulder, get the stretch through the back and the shoulder. And then we're going to go to the other side, plant onto the right hand, twist. Make sure that your hips are staying still. Thread the left arm under, roll onto the outside edge of that right shoulder. All right, and then we're going to get our pigeon and another twist for the back. So bring your right leg forward and cross it to the left side of your mat. Flex your foot, lower the shin, the outside calf down to the ground. Plant into those hands, and then start slowly walking your hands to the right. So if the right leg's forward, walk your hands to the right. Push into the hands. Get that extra little stretch to the back. Make sure that you're utilizing what you've learned, what we've built in our sessions throughout the day, throughout everything else that you do. Push into the hands. We're going to switch up to the other side. Bring your left leg to the right side of the mat in front of you, and then lower down onto the outside of the calf, shin, and then we're going to walk our hands to the left. Continue to become and envision the person that is consistent, that moves, that appreciates its body. It's a machine, and it can be a very high functioning machine, but you have to give it really good fuel. You have to take care of it, get its oil changed, and wash it and wax it and polish it. So make sure that you are eating healthy to fuel the body well, clean foods. It's really not super duper difficult. The one thing that all diet plans have in common is that they eliminate processed foods, lots of sugars. So if you can stay away from crazy processed, enriched, refined things, you don't have to think too much. You just eat clean and whole, what makes you feel good. Connect with the body, and you'll be running just fine. All right, good job, everybody. Appreciate your healthy, strong back today, and I'll see you tomorrow.